Alright, welcome back everybody to Cool's Reviews. It's our first one in a couple months. We figured we would jump back in by mixing one of our top topics that you guys search for in Billy the Kid with a little bit of a paranormal aspect. And so we picked the movie Purgatory. Now this is a 1999 film, and without spoiling stuff, it's about a group of outlaws. They've had a failed bank heist to get away from, the sheriff and all that from that town. And then all of a sudden, it might be hailing. It might be hailing out there.
It's raining
a little bit.
So after this failed bank heist, they get away from the sheriff of the town, and they ride into this town called Refuge. And this town looks pretty normal. The citizens seem pretty good, pretty okay. They call them Bible thumpers at one point.
Bible thumpers,
That's what the normal people at that time, where they were just going about their life. That's kind of where we'll leave it without getting too much, because after that it's spoilers. So let's just talk a little bit about the acting. I guess, was there any actors or actresses that stood out to you guys?
Yeah, what's the guy that's from fucking
Randy Quaid?
National Lampoon? Yeah!
Randy Quaid is the one I think everyone was like, ha ha! I mean, those two, they were like, I saw Andrew at one point, he was like, there was like Leonardo from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where he's like, literally what we saw.
I mean, there's some that I recognize, but I couldn't put the names on them, I guess.
Well, Wahlberg took a minute. Hey, Wahlberg.
Wahlberg.
Hey, Wahlbergers.
And then Sam Shepard plays the sheriff of the town, Refuge. And then Eric Roberts played Blackjack, who's the main outlaw of the gang that we first encountered at the beginning of the movie. Finally, Peter Stormare played our main, character's uncle. Sonny is the main character, I guess we didn't say that, but his uncle is played by Peter Stormare. Alright, so before we get to spoilers, we'll just rate it. Andrew, what would you rate it out of 10?
I mean, for a 99 movie, I would probably...
99 made-for-TV movie.
Made-for-TV?
I'm pretty sure this was a TNT movie.
It was a TNT movie.
TNT on the beginning of it, that's right.
It was a TNT movie. I would probably give it...
10 out of 10.
No, I would give it an 8 out of 10. Okay. For a TNT.
For a TNT?
For sure.
Okay. Sam?
I'll do 9 out of 10 for a TNT.
It had literally been 2 decades since I've seen the movie personally.
Yeah.
And watching it again was kind of nostalgic and enjoyable.
Yeah, this was the second time I've watched it, because I just watched it a year ago. And I thought it was actually pretty enjoyable. I found it doing some research for Billy the Kid. And I was like, oh, here's this Western movie, I'll check it out. And I was like, oh, this was a lot more enjoyable than I thought, a movie that you could find for free on YouTube was going to be.
Right.
I
mean, I was 10 years old when this movie came out, and it was pretty nostalgic. And it took a minute to remember all the people that were in it.
Yeah, so I would say for me too, I'd probably give it an 8 out of 10. It was actually really enjoyable, I thought. I ended up buying it, which used to not mean a lot, but lately I've been kind of frugal with what I buy, so I'm like, actually I want to buy that.
I mean, buying movies these days, it means a lot. I mean, it's just a fucking movie.
Well, especially in the streaming era, where you can almost stream any movie to buy it. You're saying it like the nostalgic is there, like you were saying.
Sure.
So it has a little bit more, I think, emphasis this day and age now that we're in a streaming era. Where it's like, not only do I want it to have stream, I want to have it like hard copy.
Yeah.
Game over, man. Game over. It's nostalgia. I have to pay for it.
All right, so Matt, what about you? What would you rate?
I noticed that you and Andrew were in alignment with 8 out of 10. I'm going to go with Sam on this one. I found it to be a 9 out of 10.
All right.
I like that. Woogity, 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 woogity.
All right, and that slap in the face was your spoiler warning. I don't know why I got it, but it's for you guys. You guys have been warned, because really to talk about this movie, we do honestly have to talk about it in spoilers. So this town, Refuge, has no jail. No one's carrying guns. No one wants to even swear. And it seems...
They don't even want to take money from you.
No money. Just come in here, be nice, earn your keep. That kind of thing.
Be chill.
Yeah, and then you kind of start, I think, maybe sensing, this seems kind of odd, Especially when Sonny's reading his book and he's like, man, this guy really looks familiar. And you're like, man, I'm sure it's nothing. But what was your guys' first clue outside of maybe the title that this was Purgatory?
I mean, Doc
Wild Bill
was obviously.
Hillcock.
Yeah.
So when Sonny's like, he's looking at it, and I'm like, is that Val Kilmer? Like, are we watching? I don't know why, but I did. Honestly, when I first watched it, I was like, are we sure they didn't just draw Val Kilmer from Tombstone? Like, I don't know. But okay, so that was yours. What about you, Sam? When was the first time you kind of realized what was going on?
I mean, I'll tell you what, kind of made me question it a little bit, and then when I actually realized it, when I questioned it is once they entered a cave and it went from desert to kind of like a grassy oasis. And either they were all hallucinogenic, or not hallucinogenic, they were all
hallucinating?
Yeah, hallucinating the same thing, and then also just the random gate in nowhere and fog behind it.
Yeah, I will
Seems really
say...
interesting, but when I actually realized it is when a coach came with the dead of the town that they were just in.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, definitely it was kind of weird how they just right into it, and the sheriff and stuff kind of just gave up. And you're like, oh, that's kind of weird. Okay. And then they ride through, and the weird thing for me, like he said, was that gate. You're like, oh. And then,
I mean, starting off with the gate, for sure.
But then, once...
The gatekeeper.
The gatekeeper.
With a...
Yeah. And then once, even past Wild Bill Hillcock, but then once they got to Jesse James, okay, what are they doing? Are they saying everybody, survived, and, this is where they're retiring?
Once it got to the Keymaster, that's what really gave it away.
I mean, maybe, when the guy got electrocuted by lightning, he went to, throw the knife, and he was like, and died.
Do that one more time.
And died. Yeah, so he got electrocuted, and then you're like, okay, something's up. This is clearly not natural. I think that was for me when he got electrocuted. I was like, all right, something supernatural's going on here.
Obviously,
Yeah,
the Keymaster
weird
just
earthquakes, and there was a lot of interesting shit happening.
Yeah.
What about you, man? When did you kind of first?
Similar to Sam, maybe he was a little bit before mine, but as soon as they passed the gates, they were just a set of gates, and gates of hell or something like that. Right away started thinking in my head, and then as soon as the stagecoach came with the
when Dolly showed up, real person, by the way. When Dolly showed up, I was like, totally.
Yeah.
Instantly knew.
Yeah,
Purgatory.
I mean, that's pretty
Purgatory.
That's
clear.
where
Do your time.
Figured it out.
Do your time and take care of your stuff.
Well, then if that part right there didn't give it away, was it 3 minutes later, maybe a minute later, when the dude handed the sheriff the white rose and said, hey, you got it, man. This Sunday at high noon, you're on your way.
You're good to go.
That's where it was oh yeah, fuck. That put it in stone, here we go.
Purgatory.
Purgatory.
Yeah. And so all these famous outlaws are here. They're just trying to, pay for their sins in a way, I guess.
Serve their time.
Yeah.
For sure.
And
Well, that's what.
and based off of so you got Wild Bill Hickok, Jesse James, Billy the Kid, and Doc Holliday, which are people we've all talked about. Well, I guess we haven't talked about Wild Bill, but the other three are people we've talked about on the channel. Mm-hmm. And so it's really kind of cool because it ties together some of that. And then you kind of learn some of this world building that's going on as far as it seems like you have to stay there for 10 years.
Mm-hmm. That's what I noticed. So it was basically a decade.
Yeah, because Wild Bill had been there almost 10 years, they said.
Mm-hmm.
8 years.
8 years, yeah.
No,
Is that the one with
he
the
was,
shovel?
no, Wild
Was
Bill
he
was
on
10
10?
years.
No,
Who's
Chuck
the
was
lefty?
Jesse J.
No, Lefty.
No.
Lefty.
Lefty, that's
Yeah, Lefty had been there over 8 years, and then he slipped up and he killed a guy, and he
Almost made it.
Well, rightfully
but then
so.
He
He killed the guy, rightfully
decapitated a person.
yeah, he was just like shoveled right in the face. I was like, wow, this guy's
Great,
amazing.
great scene, great scene. I would have done the same damn thing and been
Yeah.
okay
I mean-
with going to hell after that.
I feel like HBO watched this and was like, how can we do this as a series? And then
How
they
can
made a Game of
A&E
Thrones.
ruin it?
So, yeah, there's the world building that you have to be there 10 years to clear your soul. And if you mess up at all, like you shoot, you steal, you swear,
Never saying you can pick up.
No
a gun.
swearing.
Mhm.
No swearing except for the saloon.
they get set for the saloon, so you can go swear in the saloon and you can still drink, I
So
guess.
that makes it interesting why Billy wasn't taken after saying damn 2 times outside the sheriff's
So
office.
maybe it wasn't enough, but Wild Bill did say you're pushing it. So maybe there's like
You give him a
levels.
warning.
I mean, after the regulators, I would be okay with chilling in the saloon every goddamn day.
I mean, there's got to be more to Purgatory than Saloon, you know?
I mean, there definitely seemed like it was.
But
There
who the
was.
fuck wouldn't be in the saloon after Purgatory?
I mean, clearly no one except for the Outlaws were in the...
Doesn't make any sense to me. If I was Billy, I'd be in the saloon every damn day.
Yeah,
Well,
so
maybe that's why. Alcohol created sin.
maybe it's
You
Give me
temptation.
that shit.
Yeah, maybe it's
Shit.
temptation.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's
Maybe
That's
it's
why that one
specific.
guy that said,
You want
"I
to go with
used to."
seven
I don't
cents?
know more.
Is that what you're going for? 7 cents?
I mean,
Interesting.
if we want to talk about 7, but
Doc Holliday.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's why Doc Holliday was just like, I used to, but I don't know more.
yeah,
That could be why.
it's a
It's
temptation.
your temptations. Remember, they always will test you in purgatory.
Yeah, they gotta see. That's why they can still have their guns there.
And pay for it and go right to hell. I'd be the person going right to fucking hell.
Yeah, you.
All right. Well, Cooks has chosen where he might go.
Hell is just fine for me.
And so after a while, the outlaw gang decides to burn down the town and steal everything. And our main character, Sonny, isn't like the rest of this. Is his like first ride, which to kind of go back to it,
He hadn't killed anybody before except for one reason, for mercy.
and it didn't show us if he actually killed him. It cut away, so maybe the guy pulled the trigger.
No,
He just held it for him.
Well, he admitted he killed. Though he admitted he
Did
killed.
He did talk
They
about
did
it
admit
to
that he
Rose.
killed.
Mm.
To Rose, he did talk about it.
Had he just said, I was there with a man at time of death or something, they would kind of leave it in the opening.
Yeah, they
Yeah, and that-
said they
yeah.
rolled it.
Yeah, that was at the beginning of the movie when, after the failed bank raid, one of their own has been shot in the stomach, which is a very painful, long, agonizing way to die. He asks for mercy. Blackjack says no, and Sonny.
Good.
Was that
Couldn't
a posse
spare
or
the
was that
bullet.
another gang that?
Couldn't spare the bullet.
It was their own posse.
It was a different posse?
No, it was
or-
their posse. It was one of their own men.
No, like the group that was chasing them, because the
Oh.
posse had like black coats and those
Who the
guys
fuck
looked
was
like
chasing
gangs.
him?
The
Well,
town
the-
sheriff.
The town
That was
sheriff.
Well, that was the town
But-
sheriff and the whole fucking town.
But
Well-
then there was another group that showed up on those cliffs that was not that posse.
That
That's
was
what
a
I'm
different
talking
one,
about.
okay.
That was a,
That was a different gang.
Uh,
Because like you can tell by the coats, like because they were all blue, they're all blue coated people unless they took their coats off.
they
You
might.
didn't see that on their horses.
When I watched, I kind of just took it was the same people. But who knows? Maybe we should
They
watch
had
it again.
different coats.
maybe we should watch it again after watching it once.
So
Alright, let us know in the comments below. You
Should
want
we
us to
fucking watch it again?
Or
Yeah.
fact check us. Because I
but
think
yeah.
it was a different gang that showed up.
Yeah, no, the failed bank raid at the beginning, I almost,
I mean,
It was-
successful, but then failed.
yeah, but it reminded me a lot of the failed Northfield bank robbery in Minnesota.
Yeah, it makes you think of Jesse and James.
Jesse James, and so I was like, oh, is that where we're going? And then it wasn't, because he was like blackjack,
Obviously.
and I was like, okay, maybe it's just fictional, and then
And
Jesse
then-
James
and
isn't in
later
the
on,
movie.
later on, yeah, we got
And so that's where that one kind of reminded me of, because then the whole town hunted like James Younger gang after Northfield, and only Jesse and Frank were the got away.
In what year did this supposedly take place?
The movie, I know.
1950s?
1880?
1850s?
It would have to be after the 18. So Jesse James was killed in 1882 and Billy was 1881. So it's
Right,
after
so in
that.
1885, probably.
So this does take place roughly around 1886-ish,
Mm-hmm.
if it's been 10 years since Wild Bill died.
That would make sense.
So they do, I guess, sort of specify the time. I mean, there's even a little bit of comedy. Andrew, what was your favorite line? It's too
And
bad.
she's
Am I
like,
dead?
no.
It's too bad. I'm sorry. I'm not dead.
Yeah, when Sonny got shot and he's like, am I dead? And Rose is like, no.
I laughed my ass off.
he
That was pretty
walked out
fucking
laughing,
great.
yeah. And then, oh, what was the other? There was another one. Oh yeah, when they're waiting, and Jesse's like, "Yeah, I was trying to wait for my brother, but he just won't die."
Motherfucker won't
This
die.
motherfucker won't die.
I laughed at that one because Frank did live quite a bit after Jesse, so that was funny
Like
for me.
another decade, right?
More than
Really?
Mhm.
15?
that. Into the 1900s.
Really?
Yeah. And so it does boil down to, Wild Bill did get, the roses so you can move on to, heaven, I guess, in this movie. And, he takes it down and he's like, no, I'm going to try to protect the town from these people. Because I guess if you die in Purgatory, you're
Just immediately sent to hell, kind of.
kind of ish, yeah.
It seemed.
I mean,
it's
if
very
you
questionable.
fuck up,
You go to hell.
Yep, you go through the gates.
Yeah, and so,
you literally had 2 years left and
you tried.
you almost made
And,
Let
yeah.
rage take over.
it. You let rage take over.
And so it comes down to this final battle where Sonny has decided he's going to try to save the people he can because he's fallen in love with Rose. And his old gang is going to just burn down the town, kill everybody. And then this, brings everybody, Wild Bill, Jesse James, Doc Holliday, Billy the Kid, to pick up arms again. And there's a good old gunfight at the end. And, the outlaw gang goes to
That
hell.
Tombstone kind of feel to it.
As far as Tombstone, the movie, and then our outlaws that we've recently, I guess, learned throughout the movie that they're outlaws. Go to hell. So
They were at the gate and
the coachman pulled up and said, "Sorry guys, I was just running a little bit late."
Only one went to hell. The rest went to hell.
Yeah, only Lefty went to hell. Because I guess he killed out of rage versus killing.
It's like, come on, bro. What do you expect?
yeah,
Yeah,
that
but-
makes it seem interesting.
It was one incident after 8 years.
But there's
After-
rules. There's rules.
8 years, bro.
Rules?
Yeah, but
Come on.
one was selfish and one was selfless.
Facts.
That's kind of our spoiler review. I thought it was actually pretty good.
I thought it was good too.
Yeah, I would highly recommend it. Go find it. You can find it on YouTube TV. You can buy it off Amazon. It's on DVD. It's not that expensive. I think mine was like $9. So
Was it free on YouTube?
no.
Okay.
Well, I bet you if you have like the TNT Plus streaming app, you can probably stream that one for free.
Probably.
Being that you pay for that service.
I'm sure if
Okay,
you.
hopefully, yeah.
I'm sure
I
if
sure
you have a
hope so.
smart TV and you search Purgatory 1999, you can find it. Or if you search any of these actors, Purgatory, you'll find it. Go check it out, guys. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, it's good.
And it was
Good movie. I liked it.
Purgatory.
It was a fun way to get back into Cool's reviews because it mixed a little bit of the paranormal aspect with what is one of our most searched topics, which is
Billy
our
the Kid.
outlaws and
Yes,
mainly
Holliday
Billy
Kid.
the Kid. So this is going to be one of our, I guess, last ones that we picked for a little bit because we've actually received some requests from you guys as far as some movies you guys want us to review. So stay tuned, we got some of those coming. One of them we are going to do for True History of the Silver Screen. That one will be in November just because that event happened in November. Stay tuned to the channel. If you guys want to see more Cool's reviews, click that link over Matt's face. If you want to see more about what we're doing here at Cool's Paranormal, click that link over Andrew. And don't forget to hit that like and give us a
Subscribe.
And switch that notification bell from personalized to all if you'd like to be notified on all of our videos.
And let us know, is there a movie you want us to review?